understand why people are getting worried about the rising Venezuelan conflict that's happening right now. It's been happening since the summer with the drug boats and the, were they fishing vessels? Are they drug boats? Fishing vessels, drug boats? I don't know, but this is an unprovoked military attack. Call it for what it is. Not good optics. Trump, this isn't good optics. Not good optics for you. They label these narco-terrorists a threat. Now they're able to expand their war chest against these Venezuelan narco gangs. They are running in drugs. They are running criminal cartel over there. Maduro himself was like, allow me to have amnesty against any crimes that I was committing. That tells you all you need to know. Trump's like, no, we're not gonna give you amnesty. We're just gonna come airstrike you. However, the bigger angle, and this is what I've been saying on my channel for a long time now, Trump's angle with Venezuela, in my opinion, is directly tied to Smartmatic, Dominion voting, the election integrity, the 2020 election rigging, Tina Peters, January 6th. It's all tied together, and it starts in Venezuela. They need to extract intel. They need to extract evidence. They need to extract whether it's servers or whistleblowers or testimonies from these people in Venezuela to validate Trump's claims of the 2020 election being stolen. Well, we're actually going into Venezuela because the 2020 election was stolen. It was an international cartel of election riggers. We call them election riggers. And these people came in and they stole our election. They rigged the system against us, and it all came back to Smartmatic. If he were to come out and say that, he would be getting twice the amount of flack he's currently getting with what he's doing now. But with him labeling them as cartels, with labeling them as narco trafficking and narco gangs, there's a little bit more wiggle room because you can actually justify and validate. The Cartel de la Sol, this criminal cartel that's running and working with the Maduro regime out there. But it all ties back to the elections, vindicating and exonerating Tina Peters and the Fedsurrection that ensued after January 6th. If we get election interference evidence from Venezuela, exonerating and validating all of these quote-unquote baseless conspiracy theories about the 2020 election, there is going to be a shakeup of biblical proportions here in America. Trust that. President Donald Trump sharply escalated tension with Venezuela on Saturday, issuing a stark warning that the country's airspace would now be considered closed. The declaration, delivered in an all-caps social media post addressing to airlines, pilots, drug dealers, and human traffickers, has intensified fears of Washington may be preparing for a military operation inside the Venezuela territory. You don't say. Caracas swiftly condemned the move, calling it a colonialist threat and accusing Washington of using aviation advisories and military deployments to build pressure for the removal of President Nicolas Maduro. Well, Nicolas Maduro is working intimately with the cartels out there. In short, increases the risk, disruption in aviation, and signals that Washington may be preparing for something bigger. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Washington's preparing for something bigger because I believe they need to get boots on the ground. They need to extract hard evidence data, whether it's servers, whether it's drives, whether it's actual physical people, whistleblowers, people intimately tied with Smartmatic voting systems that worked in the Venezuelan elections in the mid and late 2000s to secure Maduro's victories. All of this ties back to election integrity here in America, election interference in America, January 6th and the Fedsurrection, and us contesting the 2020 election votes, tying back to Tina Peters in Mesa County here in Colorado. All of this is intimately tied with the ongoing efforts and rising tension and conflict in Venezuela. What are your thoughts on the escalation conflict in Venezuela?